As a church, these are some of the business ventures for the church, where the church has allowed, some individual people, private people, to come and do business with the church. These are the buildings for the church from there up to the house there. All these are the buildings that are owned by the United Church of Zambia Western Presbytery. As you can see, some of them, they look to be quite odd, but the good news is that through the direction of the investment committee of the Presbytery, we started by looking at the frontage of this area. And the frontage part of this area entailed that we should be able to work on these facilities that are near the road. And we are so grateful for that. By now, I think all of these facilities have been taken on and people are doing business with the church. So our prayer is that these pieces of businesses can be able to help us work on those structures that are behind us, like the youth hall, revive those, that dream of making it a training center. With all that is happening here, we are very positive that Lilelero would never be the same. We can still be able to add value, renovate some of these old buildings, and so on and so forth. So this is where we are, and this is our crusade. There where we are going, it is a school. A person, an individual came and got it in partnership with the church. It's been renovated so that it can as well help into enhancing the financial capabilities of this presbytery. So this is where we are. I think maybe as we move there, you will see the other things that are happening by this church. We are now at one of the places that has been the carpentry workshops for the church, where, as we had earlier on talked about, where youths were having a wonderful moment in terms of their training and skill development. So this was one of the workshops. But now this workshop has been given out since at some point it failed to work, and we allowed the individual members of the community to come and rent them from the church. As at now, this is being rented by one of the members from the community. So this is where we are. You can literally see how this place was being run. In that, you can see this building here. Since this was a carpentry workshop, these are some of the buildings where the timber materials were kept. Almost like the warehouses where the raw materials would be kept. As people are learning here in these workshops, getting the skills from these workshops, their materials were kept in these other rooms that are just behind here. And also going this side, all of these were also the places where the trainings used to take place. But now, most of it is in private individuals who are running and doing business with the church. As you can see just next to us there is another tenant who is coming, who will be assembling the hammer mills. So shortly the person will be able to pick it up and then continue, doing this. One may be asking that, but why have we opted to allow the members of the general public to come and do business with the church? Why can't we do business? This is just the start. Because what we wanted was to revive, make these places be alive again, so that even if we are to revert to our original agenda of this place, we should be able to have enough muscles so that we can be able to stand on our own and then provide the training to the youths and the other vulnerable groupings around here. Yes, we may have that desire, we may have that dream, of returning it to where it was. But without the resources, would not make it. That's why we have opted to go the business way. When we have raised something which can be helped, which can help us, plow back into this so that now we seek for help from, well-wishers, the government, and bring back the training aspect of it into this place. And we are very determined for that we shall certainly do it. This has got two bigger rooms here. The first room is being rented out, and the one who is there is doing business of, making, sofas and other furnitures. So this is the first room. The second room, which is down there, the person who is occupying it is doing tailoring. He's putting some machines and he's doing, it's a tailoring shop. These buildings have been abandoned for quite long, for some time, for more than I think 8 years or so. They had been abandoned, but we thank God that we have worked on them, and now people are in them, they are occupying. Our desire and our goal remains the same. We work on the frontage of this so that from what we get from these buildings on the frontage of our land, we can be able to use it and revive the other works from the hall there and the other buildings that are in a dilapidated condition there. So this is our direction. Moving on there where we are going now, it is a school. I want you also to come and check on how the school is being renovated. It's a private school, being renovated, and we hope that come maybe 2 or 3 months, everything, the renovations will be over, and this new tenant should be able to, begin to make a good payment to the church. When all that is done, we believe that it will help us. It will give us the financial muscles to attend to the many challenges that are there. One issue which probably we've not shared about is when you look at this aging infrastructure, one will realize that this place has been there for some time. And because these facilities have been there for some time, you really discover that there have been a lot of people that have been working in these places or within the Presbytery. And because of that there have been a number of people that have been working in one way or the other. The problem which would be expected is usually that how have the workers been paid? How about their terminal benefits? How have they been attended to? That would be the question that would be there. And certainly even for here, that is the question which is there. We have been having a lot of workers, beginning with church workers, and even the workers that have been working in these other places. You discover that at the end of everything, most of these people that have been doing these works, they are still owed a lot of monies by the church. And that's why the church has opted to go into the business way. Surrender these business so that other people can run them, and then be paying rentals to the church so that the church can be able to attend to these huge debts that are there, that have been established by the church. And thank God that places like this school is a success story. It's a success story because a member of the community came through and requested that he can do business with the church. And thank God he has come. The school is being renovated and it is running and is paying, what it's supposed to pay. We believe that after all these renovations that have been done and after what he has spent is recovered, then the church can move on and be able to be recouping good monies from this infrastructure. The monies which can be used now that can be used to reinvest and then work on the other buildings that are behind there. The car wash. We thought of having a car wash as a place where we can be getting something. Also it is being run by a member of the church, who is doing business there, but he's paying to the church. So when you look at all this, our future is bright, and we are determined that what is a problem today might not be a problem tomorrow, because we believe that with all these interventions that have been laid down, this is the right path which we feel it can be able to help the Presbytery move out of this debt burden, which is so much, you know, where we need to pay all the people that we are owing and the other, you know, monies that are owed to places like the NAPSA and other places. So we believe that if we are to work and move on in this direction, we can be able to attend to all these problems. It is the car wash that is there, which is the last part of our business on the frontage of our land. You know, so the car wash is also feeding in this great assignment and vision, where I would want to turn around the fortunes of this presbytery so that we can be self-reliant, we can be able to attend to our needs. And we are determined that if all goes as per planned, we believe in the next 2, 3, 4 years, we should be a presbytery without any debt, because these interventions are appearing to be helping us in one way or the other. I think this is the journey about this place. Our story is we can rewrite our story and then be able to come up, you know, with the ways that can help the presbytery move on its missional assignment. I thank you. Thank you so much. This is our youth hall. The youth hall primarily was a place where a lot of trainings used to take place. There was a tailoring which used to take place in this hall, and also the carpentry part was down there. So meaning in this hall, people used to come and you know, get the skill of tailoring, and others would as well be able to use this as classrooms where people come and you know, have moments of acquiring some skills to help them. But this hall, as you can just see the writing here, later on from its original use, later on it was now used by the VCT Center, which mainly occupied this other building which is next there, you know, run by the social services of the church. The other building which is with the roof blown off. That building there, it was a VCT Center, you know, the voluntary counseling and testing center. So also during that time when it was a VCT center, they had people who would come under the VCT, they would be able to be tested, and also other youths would be brought on board, you know, to have their training, the life skills. That's where the tailoring used to be, and other classes around here. Apart from that, we have also the other buildings here, like these wardens here. These wardens here. These wardens. These, we are told that these are the original buildings that were brought from Sefula, you know, as a youth training center. These were the first buildings which were in Sefula and brought here on the youth center. In number, they were about, I think, roughly about 5 or 6. And when they were brought here, the first time when this place was occupied, these centers, these buildings were put in strategic places in all the corners. There was one in that corner there. The other one is still standing right in that corner there, where there is a beacon. Right at the end there is a beacon where it is still standing. And then the other one is this one here. The third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. So these were the first, you know, houses that were moved from there as a youth training center to come and be on this land. So to today, which is from about 1966, 1967, when they were brought here to today. They are still here, and they are still standing. Quite historical, and reminding us of where the church is coming from, with the main projects and programs that are there. As we continue just looking at the training journey of this place, we are still also looking at some of the buildings. The building like this one, where people would come here, acquire knowledge. These were used as classrooms. They were used as classrooms where youths would come, train, and also acquire skills so that they can be able to move on. To today, these buildings are still standing, though they are looking like this, but they are still standing. And in our vision, would want these to fully come back to life and then be used, as training places for our youths, and also be helping the institution, to raise some needed resources. So that's why we are looking at them. That's why we are still, we have put in the burglar bars, we have ensured that we have secured the place, so that going forward, we can still be able to do further renovations and allow them to be picked on by anybody who would wish to use them. As you can just see far there, near the tree, or under that tree there, you can see the clearing of the land. The clearing of the land is as a result that our WCF would wish to put up some flats there, which will be run purely on a commercial basis as an income generating activity. So, as it is being cleared there, very shortly, maybe in a week's time, they should be able to start the building itself, so that the flats are done, and then allow people, to occupy them and be raising some income for the church, so that we move away from depending, on the offerings and appeals. So I think this is part of the journey as we are looking at the financial sustainability of the church. This is one of the projects the women are doing. This whole land, as we are talking about, the financial sustainability of this part, we noticed that, we've been having a challenge in terms of, building haphazardly, where this group would just stand and pitch up this other group would stand and build up this other group would stand and do things like that. But I think when we sat as a leadership, we realized that I think we can still be able to make use of this land. And the investment committee was established. After establishing the investment committee, what have they done? They have planned for this land to an extent that every building that is to come, that is to be built here, should be planned. And when you look at that area there, where the women have started, all of that we have planned that we can be able to put up, low-cost houses where we can be able to build them either on partnership, maybe with another investor that may be interested. That we come and work together, we put up those houses and then allow them to be on rent with an agreement. So therefore, for me, when you look at the whole of this land, it is planned for, and anything that is to be built, it has to fit in within the general plan of this place. So that's far how we have moved in wanting to utilize this place.